Hello, everybody. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me for another video. All right, so you guys saw me do the texture piece. I don't even know when, a couple videos ago, and so that was my just texture piece. Try saying that 10 times fast. But I decided I wanted to try another one, but on a much bigger scale. There's so much to learn, as you are going to see in this video. There's a lot. There's a lot to learn. I'm still new at this. I'm just showing you guys right now. This is the stuff I use. It is extra heavy molding paste by Golden. If you saw my tester video piece that I did, you can check that one out there. I have, I talk a little bit more about the Golden paste. But first off, let me apologize as to why my camera keeps turning yellow, then white, then yellow, then white. It was really frustrating as I'm editing this and I see it changing color. Very annoying. Not sure why it's doing that. I'll have to figure that out. But you will see here I am, doing my squiggly lines, and I thought it was good until I noticed a big goober in one of my mountainous lines, and I did not like it. You have to be very careful because if you have any big goobers, it'll ruin your lines as you are trying to make them with the little plastic tool. So you'll see here as the video goes along, I scraped and did it over and over and over and tried again and again and again until I was happy with it. I think after 3 or 4 attempts, I don't even remember, I was finally happy with it. I have a lot of practicing to do when it comes to the composition and the design of this kind of texture piece. I didn't really notice that part there where I'm working on near the bottom corner, it didn't curve the way I really wanted it to, and I didn't notice that till much later, and by that point I was kind of done. Like I said, I'm still learning. I will say though, I nailed and figured out the best way to do the lines, the mountainous lines. I really loaded on the molding paste, and the more you put, the better and more defined peaks you get with the plastic tool. So you'll see here, I must have done this 5, 6 times. I don't even know. But I kept trying. I didn't like it. I was happy with this one, but then in the bottom corner, there wasn't enough molding paste, and I don't know. It's just there's a lot of trial and error in this. This whole video you guys are watching is about what, 12, 13 minutes long, sped up. From start to finish, this process took me about 5 hours worth of video. So yeah, it takes a long time. So here I am doing the final section here. And again, I must have done this 3 or 4 times, like I said, there's different designs you can do. You can do like a rainbow type. You can do straight lines, somewhat small curves, a full circle. The possibilities are, pretty endless. You can do a lot of different things. But I think for me, I need to just really pay attention to the design and the composition and how I want it to look. At the end of the day, am I 100% happy with the composition of this piece? No. Am I happy with how the lines looked and how peaky and mountainous they are? Yes. I'm very, very happy with how that part looked. So I really nailed that part of this technique. Now I just need to nail and figure out like the design aspect and like the composition of how I want these, designs to look. So as you can see here, I'm finally happy and content with, my design. And I'm just taping off the parts where the lines, come down on the side. Now, here, don't laugh, don't get mad, don't be angry. Some of you may agree, some of you may disagree. However, I started painting this with the thought process of doing like an ombre style kind of look. And so I started with a dark blue in the middle. So it's greenish blue by Amsterdam. And I just basically used greenish blue and lightened it up with titanium white. So what I was trying to do here is do the dark blue, the greenish blue in the middle, the darkest, and then a light on the sides, and then use a brush with some water to wet it because, this stuff dries so fast, to blend it. And, so you can see it's kind of creating like a medium hue blue. And at first I'm sitting there working on it. Like this painting portion, took me almost 2 hours, okay? And you're watching it in like a minute and a half. But I'm sitting there working on it and I'm like, oh, I like these colors. But when you sit and you stare and you're working on something and it's like right in front of your face for like so long, you don't really step back and look at it and think, well, this doesn't look that good now that I'm looking at it, or this isn't right, or this was wrong, or I didn't do this right. So you can see as I'm doing this portion of my squiggly line that I've got like, 3 or 4 lines of the dark blue. Just bear with me. I know you're looking at it and thinking, oh, I like the colors, but for me, it's not what I was going for. I was going more for a much more ombre look with, there was just way too much contrast between the dark blue in the center and the light blue on the edge. So it's not really what I was looking to do. And again, this took me 2 hours to do. I finally finish it. I did like 2 coats of each color. I finish it. I take a step back and I look at it and I'm like, something doesn't look right. It's not what I had envisioned. If you had seen my original tester piece that I did with the titanium buff light, the cream, and the greens, the olive green, that was more what I was going for in terms of the ombre, effect. And this was not it. It just wasn't. And then so I step back, I look at it, and I'm like, I'm not really sure. I've been staring at it for like 2 hours and painting it, and I couldn't just put my finger on it. Something was wrong. So I call Anthony. I show him pictures of it, and he looks at it and he's like, yeah, no, it's not working for me. So I was like so frustrated because I spent 2 hours doing that. And like I said, Anthony looked at it and he too was like, no, it doesn't look right. And, I kept looking back at the green one, kept looking back at this blue one, back to green, back to blue. And I was like, nah, I don't like it. So back to the drawing board. And you can see there on the right-hand side, I took, again, my greenish blue by Amsterdam and I lightened it up. And then I made 3 shades, 3 more closer, similar shades. So you can see here, I am painting over this once again. So I do this first half of the squiggly line and I'm looking at it and I feel like the contrast between the medium color blue and the darker color blue just wasn't enough of a contrast. You see there, I took my green piece and I put it against there just to see, and I didn't like it. So I went ahead and I added some more titanium white to those puddles there on the right-hand side, and I tried again. And finally, I got the color that I wanted. So the squiggly line in the bottom corner you're looking at, that's going to get redone. So needless to say, I spent probably another almost 2 hours redoing this and changing the colors up and reblending and doing all kinds of stuff to it. But I tell you, this was the most frustrating thing because I thought I was going to be in and out of the studio like in an hour, hour and a half. And I spent almost 4 hours in the studio that day, just repainting these lines. Now I'm blending. So I take a clean brush, I dab it in water, and then I just kind of go over, the lines there and just blend things in. And then when that's done and it's dry, I do a second coat because it needs a second coat, right? If I'm not mistaken, Greenish Blue by Amsterdam is a transparent paint, although I did add white to it, which, you know, white is opaque, but you know, I did go over it with 2 coats, so I had to do that. So yeah, needless to say, this took me a flipping long time. So when this is finally said and done and dry, I sat there and I thought, well, do I leave the background white? Do I paint it a color? Do I do like a light cream color like I did with the green one? I think I'm going to leave it white. Off camera, I did touch up all the edges because there were some little blue marks, you know, along the ridges that I kind of got onto the white part of the canvas. So I did touch that up with a small brush and some titanium white, which I did not record. And then I painted the whole canvas white. I know that might sound silly because the canvas is already white, but it definitely needed to be painted white. So that is what I did. So here it is after I had just finished doing it. It's not painted white at this point, and I haven't touched up the edges. So you can see on some of this close-up, you can see some of the little outer edges. There's some blue blemishes. So that I ended up touching up with a paintbrush and some white paint because I just kind of didn't like, it didn't look crisp and clean. So I did touch those up. And like I said, once I touched them up with 2 coats of white, I then took a bigger paintbrush. See that down there in the dark blue? I didn't like it. So now I painted it. It's still actually wet, so you might or may not see some brush strokes in there. It is still wet, and I put it up on the wall. But this took forever. I love it. I want to know what you guys think about it. I'm going to do more of these, you know, just work on my composition and the design. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. It is a 24 by 24 inch canvas. If anyone is interested in this piece, you can email me, kanellaciraco@gmail.com, and you can purchase it if you like. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day, have a good night, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.